All right, we got a fun game here. I'm going to jump right in. This is something I built in an afternoon with Simmetri. I was messing around, but I was super inspired by watching World Cup, and I have um, always loved watching the um, curved kicks, much like a curveball in baseball, but this curved kick on a set piece. Um, and so I set up some defenders. I set up a simple system to bring my ball back here, some shoes I can grab and kick with, and I've toggled with the physics so that I can convert the angular velocity into linear velocity and accomplish that curve. So I can sit here and practice taking these curved kicks, trying to get around this defensive wall here. I've got a big yellow goalie. I've got four defenders down there, four defenders up here. They're kind of just moving around with a little bit of random motion, just to add a little kind of fun to it. Let's clear that shoe out for a second. We'll just work with the one. You'll also notice over in the corner, that's a separate game that I set up, with just every 10 seconds it shoots a corner kick. We'll go over there and mess around with some headers. But let's take some shots here. So this just swiping or clicking here brings the ball back to this little circle. I should be able to try to get the hang of it here. You have to both, hit it at the right angle and hit it with the right force, right angle. Boom. Oh, defended by blue. Good. The difficulty is enough to keep me engaged here. No. No, not the right curve. Let's try this other side. We get handle on the shoe. Nice and strong, but too much. Almost there. You'll notice that the locomotion I'm using is just simple flying wherever I point this laser, whether it's over my shoulder, the one in my left hand, wherever I point it, whether it's down here, sideways, over my head, kind of fly to that dimension. All right, gotta show you the goal here. So another thing I've got on my other hand is slowing down time. Maybe we'll do that in a second. You can see that sideways curvature if I fly up. Come on. It's looking good. Nope. Get in here. A little closer. Reasonable spin. All right. Let's dribble it out a little bit. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Super celebratory for a pretty weak little kick, but pretty fun. That's looking good. Nope. You know, I feel like when I do the screen recording, the physics that I was used to has actually changed. If I come over here to this slider, I'm going to actually do it live and adjust this. The code here is a little Lua scripting window. And the upper bound right now has been 0.8, but I'm going to double it because I think the frame rate has gone a little slower in VR. So I'm going to compensate for that. Come over here, slide it back up to lots, and see what I get. See if I can get more. Let's try again. I just kick this side. I feel like it's happening now. That's a pretty strong curve for sure. Good. There we go. Snuck it in. All right, cool. So you got to see the curved kicks. This is a Google Poly model sport shoe by Manuel Jimenez Parraga, and then this is MW Selfie 3D by Marcus Winterberger. Let me do some headers here with Marcus. Kind of in the way, slowing down time. He jumps up, just missed it. So we're running down the field, cross it, slowing down time, boom, This is really fun. I spent a lot of time in here. So this thing shoots kind of at a random. I've got like a random target for it, so you're never exactly sure where it's gonna go each time. And so yeah, I'm just grabbing these with the grip triggers, and then I can slow down time with my right index trigger, and with my left index trigger, I fly. Pretty amazing. I think the next thing I want to do is be the goalie. I haven't exactly figured out. How I want that to work. I mean, easy enough. We can put kind of a random signal on the what the kicker aims at, and basically replicate what's going on with the corner kicker. And I also want to just do the run. I want to have the person that kicks it fake you out. So sometimes they run at an angle, and sometimes that angle corresponds with the direction to kick it. Sometimes it doesn't. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I guess, yeah, you would just have two hands. Maybe you'd have more parts for your body. So that's Marcus. Yeah, and these are slightly bouncy, just to get the right response. Now this one is the Skull by our friends at Wave VR. Evol Love. And this one, I went ahead and put some eyeballs in, and these eyeballs always look at me. Which you can sort of see better. There you go. They'll even kind of look outside their skull. I had them always looking at the corner kick, which was kind of cool. So every time the corner kick would show up, we would the eyes of this skull would start tracking it. But that was hard to see actually, because it's a tough angle to be in view of the eyes and the corner kick. So yeah, headers, literally. Oops, it's flying. Released it on fly. Yes, epic win. Yeah, if you see anything that we should do next with this, I'm gonna have the link to the Simmetri show in the under the video here in the notes, and I'll probably post another video tomorrow. And I have a little bit more time on Saturday to kind of unpack what's in here and show people how they can kind of replicate it themselves. Replicate it themselves, and then also like add to this. So, come on. Kicking with your arms, a new skill. Yeah. Maybe I'm a little better at headers than I am at these. I love the tracers. The tracers are just an emitter, emitting a shadow version of the ball. And I think it's helpful for kind of like realizing the curvature that you've created. Yeah, so this is all done with like a 360 image for a spherical dome over me. I just painted the terrain with Simmetri's terrain tools. All these things out here are just primitives and like really easy things. There's only like 6 lines of code in this whole thing, and then these awesome sort of Google models, and nothing like super fancy, but the overall effect is really pretty fun. I feel like I could mess around in here for a while. I mean, eventually you want to go outside and kick a real ball, but you can't adjust the real slider for the amount of curvature. I guess if it's there you go. That's unrealistic. I mean, actually, if you have like a beach ball, it'll behave this way. Sort of like the drag to mass, I guess, ratio would be one way to think about it. I was just saying, I think part of it, air density, I would assume. So altitude, temperature, humidity. I'm sure people out there in the internet know all the details. I mean, this is a real simplification of the the physical formula here. Just taking, but it really does kind of eventually boil down, to angular velocity corresponding to a linear velocity, like translating to a linear velocity. And so that was simple enough to do. In script, and it looks really simple. Basically, on the ball, there's just a script that's when it moves. Here, I just like see what I want the default coefficient to be, and this slider modifies that. Yeah, that's just the cross product, and we pass in the rotational velocity. We do the cross. The cross vector is the velocity vector and the rotation vector to get kind of the third vector. Basically, in this case, like you could picture it rotating forward or like backspin, and you need to get basically the left or right. So you do the cross product to get that perpendicular to both of these vectors. You get this, and then you kind of I messed around with a coefficients until I got one that kind of seemed suitable, and then figured out a range that was kind of fun to play with. Yeah, and it gets kind of crazy. You go too much, and you'll like touch it, and a little bit of spin will add all this velocity in this like perpendicular angle. So if you go, let's go crazy, you like put it. It's like the upper bound on this one. We put it at 16. We could put this at like 32. So start to get nuts. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. And this is like. Maybe I should put like. Maybe I should. This shouldn't be none to lots. This should be like. Some like junior soccer player like Messi. There we go. Crazy curve. In fact, that one. All right. Yeah, you can see kind of that coefficient just gets nuts. It's really cool, really fun to play around with. So yeah, you could kind of say let's do only a portion of that. Come on, work with me. It's going. It's going. It's so funny. A little over dramatic. I'll do that like primitive technology guy on YouTube. I'll just like sit here and let you watch for like 2 hours as I figure out how to use my primitive technology of a VR hand foot. This is almost the exact opposite. But you can also watch me for 10 minutes as I perfect this. Or not. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm talking about. Oh, and there's one other thing here, which would be the camera. Then let me adjust the displays. Camera viewport. Create display for this one. So this would be the. This is like the goal cam. And then let's go edit preferences, outputs, camera display. Let's actually get rid of this one. And then camera display, we're going to go render that as a screen, and new screen display output. We'll put that on left. And now that should, there you go. So now you should see me flying around in there. Some curvature in here. There we go. Hello. Here, I'll get MW Marcus out again. We'll take some headers. Oh, miss. Let me do a bicycle kick. Here we go. Oh, easier said than done. Ah, there we go. Marcus Winterberger. Oh, fail. team do you play for, Marcus? I kind of feel like he's German. I hope we find him. I hope he sees this. Realizes the football star we've made him. All right. Let's finish with an epic header. Oh, come on. Oh boy. I got you. I got you. So one of these I can move around. It's this one. All right. Oh, Phil. Oh no. Cool, more to come.